It's my pleasure to be with you today. We are the local team for Australia and New Zealand. While both of us are based in Sydney, we do travel and we look forward to seeing you in your local city. And I think by way of background, it's helpful to know what are the experiences of your local leaders. And my friend and colleague at Founder Institute, Paul Krzyzewski, he is a product management expert. He's been doing this for many years, but not only has he been helping businesses and organizations to think about product and to be very customer driven in their approach, he has had the scar tissue as a startup founder, having founded a number of startups. And he also runs a blog that is around sales enablement. As for me, I've been very fortunate to have had a technical and a business background, having built a number of tech businesses since the 1990s. And then by day, I'm a venture capitalist with Right Click Capital. We invest in tech and related businesses, so deep tech, IoT, and software companies across Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia. So one of the things that we really like about the Institute is the opportunity to help people. And one of our fellow mentors, as well as a partner at the well-respected law firm Addison's, is Rebecca Dooley. And Rebecca helps run our expert mentor panel over the last couple of years on legal and equity related matters. When we say equity, we think about the cap table, we think about shares, that type of equity, as opposed to fairness that might be in the courts. But Rebecca is a very experienced lawyer, and she has the ability to assist startup founders, giving them very considered advice about when you need to spend time on lawyers and perhaps when you should save that for later. So we're really glad to have them on board. Also in Australia and New Zealand, we are thrilled to highlight a number of our mentors, including Sorelle Osborne. If you want to talk about marketing, go to market, she is your superstar. Chris Clark, former co-director of the Institute in Australia and New Zealand. He is a founder of a number of tech businesses, and he is able to talk about how you grow your business from here to the United States. How do you think about a SaaS business? How do you make enterprise sales? We have Joanne Suchard, who is a member of Sydney Angels. She's an active angel investor, and she has been a great panelist and mentor to our groups of founders. And then we also have Matt Brown, who has been through the process of having built, bought, sold technology companies, and now is VC at Black Nova VC. And we have a bunch of other top local startup experts. So what is the Founder Institute? That's a very good question. We are a pre-seed accelerator. So you might have heard of events like the Spark Festival or Y Combinator Startup School, or you might have heard of Techstars and their Startup Weekend. Well, they're programs which allow you to put your finger in the water, dip your toe in the water to understand, to get educated, to be inspired. And they're fantastic programs. And then you might have heard of these other programs such as Start Mode or Y Combinator or Beauty of Startups, or Incubate, run by some of the universities. They tend to be full-time accelerators, seed stage or angel stage accelerators, and therefore teams that already have products, some level of traction, and want to get this pre-seed funding ready to prepare for a large round of funding. And then, of course, you've got seed/venture capital. We've got some venture capital firms there, and these are for fast-growing startups. Well, the Founder Institute is a pre-seed accelerator, and we are the number one place in the world to turn ideas into fundable startups and to turn these startups into global businesses. And here are the numbers. That's right, 35,000 mentors around the world, over 100 exits from alumni, over 200 cities. Pretty cool. So what are these companies? Well, we have here a little chart of some of the companies that you might have heard of. Udemy, listed on the NASDAQ. In the US, Kindara, in health, acquired. But over in Australia and in Asia, there are a number. We've got Checkbox, who came out of Founder Institute Australia New Zealand, along with Gameface, along with GoFar, as well as Houdini. So a number of these companies have gone on, they've grown, they have taken on the feedback as well as the network, the lifetime of support the Founder Institute has provided and continues to provide. But you might ask, what is the program? Well, Jason Calacanis, if you know of This Week in Startups, says that we're the most raw street program out there for startups. We think that when you come and have an idea, you need to get feedback on that idea, and you want that feedback to be as honest as possible, respectful and honest. Because if you are going to be investing the next 5, 10, 15 years of your life, you want to make sure that it's on the right thing. The other thing we do is we help you get things done. And here, if you have an earlier stage business, what we call the launch track, you can see that there is a great focus on pitching, customer development, leadership development, and also thinking about your sales, your customer acquisition. And we run this, as Paul was saying, over 14 weeks. For those of you who have a business that's already in market, we have come up with what's called the growth track. And you'll notice here that whilst there is pitching, customer development, and leadership development, there is a focus on preparing yourself for investors. That's why there's the investor diligence preparation, the KPIs and growth story, and so on. So what does the Founder Institute do? We find great people, we give them a devoted and global support network, and we put them through a structured process. And as I mentioned before, we provide a lifetime of support. In fact, here is the lifetime of support. There's the core program. Beyond the core program, we have advanced accelerators that run for between 3 and 6 months to get your product market fit right. You know what one of the largest reasons why even funded startups fail? Premature scaling. And that's because they haven't got their product market fit right. They've got the early signs, the early signals. They spend too much money on marketing and then it goes to poo-poo. We also have an accelerator around getting funding. And then for those who have got their first round of funding away, how do you get your Series A financing? How do you attract venture capital? How do you get on the venture path? Plus, we have the FI Venture Network, which is an exclusive pre-seed investing network. So, our methodology, we have a proven process to help you build your business quickly and cheaply. We are highly structured and sequential. So this is for you if you want to go through the steps, proven steps, to increase your chances of success. Sounds pretty good to me. I'd like to increase my chances of getting to the Olympics, and you get constant feedback sessions with mentors. So there's this idea of continuous improvement, continuous feedback, continuous improvement. So I look forward, if you're interested, to your questions. Our next cohort begins very shortly. It runs, as Paul's mentioned, for about 14 weeks, 3.5 months. We kick off on the 12th and the 13th of August. I look forward to seeing you there. Now, if you're not quite sure, but want to learn more about if you have what it takes to be a successful founder, you can get a free report by completing this test. It's what's called a predictive admissions test or a founder DNA test. And once you complete this test, you will learn what your traits are and what are the traits that you score very highly on and some of the traits that you are a bit lower on. And we find this super helpful to work out, these are some of my blind spots. Maybe I need to find a co-founder or a mentor or a coach so that I am aware, more aware of these blind spots, and that I am able to spend my time where I can leverage, where I can make the most of my strengths. So if you'd like to learn more about Founder Institute, there'll be some Q&A today. Plus, we have a couple of more events as well as an info session. Please fill this in. We'd love to see you.